Hello guys and welcome back once again. On today's video, we will be checking out Acustica Audio SECRET. This is one of their new plugins, and on today's video, I actually thought of doing something as well. So after we go through the features, I'll actually show you guys how I try to use this to match 4 plugins that I got on a vocal. So I basically bypassed 4 different plugins on my vocal chain, and I used just this one plugin to match it.
Wait. Okay.
So let's first go through the features. So as you can see, this is obviously a channel strip. You have, saturation section here, which you can select tape, pre, EQ, PWM, FET, VCA. So you just have to move this. And here's where you engage it. The same with this live, which I feel like it adds a bit of excitement, maybe high frequency boost or whatnot. More of exciter, I feel like. So you can engage that or turn it off. So you have, a low cut there or high cut there. So currently I've used the, high pass, which is at 50 Hertz. So this is your output. You obviously have the preset there and, your line levels in and out. So here is obviously one of the important bits, which is you have 3 different compressors. So you can switch from PWM, just a click, you are in FET, a click, you're on VCA. And if you look here, which is our compressor sections, when I change from one compressor to another, you see the settings change. So there, you can see our release is currently on 197. When I go back to the original that I'm currently using, which is the PWM, it goes to 120. The same with attack changes, right? So that attack and release changes. Even if you look as well, the ratio display. So this VCA, as you can see, look more of a soft, knee, whereas this is more of a hard knee, as you can see there. The PWM feel like hard knee as well, similar to the FET. If you notice, it didn't change much. But going to the VCA, you see it smoothens the curve.
I gotta make sure everything plays out smooth.
So let's stay to the PWM because that's what I've set on this. So this section is obviously your EQ section, and you have the EQ display on top here. So you have actually 2 sides to this EQ. So this side is to do your cuts. So as you can see, everything there is cut, cut, and cut. This side is to do your boost. This is a 3-band EQ. So obviously, if you look on the high frequency, there's nothing happening, so I've turned it off because you can get it on or off each band. So here I've got it on and is at 8K. There's 2.4 boost, which as you can see from this graph is obviously a high shelf. So whereas this one is, deep. So coming to the mid, you can see here at about 1400 Hertz, we got it a dB boost. And on the low, there's also a cut at 2912, about 2.0 cut, which you can obviously have it on or off. Can you see that? So the low frequency now, on the low, there's nothing happening on the boost, whereas on the cut, I got 2.5 dB cut, which is obviously like a low shelf at 224. So coming to the compressor section,
what the hell are you going to do with the compressor?
I've obviously got attack at 13.6, release 120, ratio is 3. Threshold is obviously till I'm getting about 6 dB at the loudest part. The shmod, I've left it at default, which is 2. Makeup gain, I've added 2.3 because that's what I feel like needed to match the compression that we are getting. Then the dry wet is still on 100%. You can obviously mix it. This is the trim if the signal going into it is too harsh or too hot, sorry. So you have here, which is release hold. I've not used it. You also have attack hold. I've not used that. I've left it at default. So now let's actually listen to this vocal, and I'll show you guys how I've used this to replace 4 plugins.
For real?
So currently I have this Pro Q3 doing some notches. I have our compressor. So if you see, our attack is obviously at 16, which is why this is 13.6, gave me the same kind of attack that I'm getting on this 16. So next one is the EQ. So as you can see that 200 low shelf at 2 dB, which that is also doing, and 3K, you know, minus 3 dB, which we got here 2912 2 dB cut. Obviously, I'm listening to see where I'm getting the same sound as what these 4 plugins were giving me. So I'm not actually trying to put the same figures. Remember, we need to match the sound, not really the numbers. So here is MV2, which this one is the one that I actually found a little bit hard, because this is also doing, you know, low level expansion kind of a thing and high level compression. So which is bringing the quiet part up and then reducing the high part down. But this was really close. So let's have a listen. First, let's listen to the original with these 4 plugins on.
When this plane be landing, rapping for the radio, I'm changing up my bandwidth. Ain't no addict, but I got bad habits.
Now let me swap the 4 plugins with just Secret.
When this plane be landing, rapping for the radio, I'm changing up my bandwidth. Ain't no addict, but I got bad habits. My comeback was sense.
You still notice how, you know, even the Secret sounded more smooth. Let's swap them, you know, back and forth. I will not speak in between. I'll just, you know, turn this on. Once I hit it off, I'll put the other 4 on, so you can, you know, so your ears can adjust instead of me speaking in between, which sort of. Let's try it. It's 4. Once I turn them off, I'll put Secret on.
When this plane be landing, rapping for the radio, I'm changing up my bandwidth. Ain't no addict, but I got bad habits. My comeback was sensational. When this plane be landing, rapping for the radio, I'm changing up my bandwidth. Ain't no addict, but I got bad habits. My comeback was sensational.
So obviously you notice that they are not 100% the same, which obviously all plugins will not. Even if I switch 1 or 2 of these 4 plugins, the sound will change still. But you can see how close it is, whereby this one plugin is actually doing what these 4 plugins were doing. So let's now go ahead and drop it into the sound, because obviously listening to vocal in isolation is different. We now need to listen to how it actually fit into the record. So let's start with this 4, and then I'll throw on Secret on the second part.
When this plane be landing, rapping for the radio, I'm changing up my bandwidth. Ain't no addict, I got bad habits. My comeback was sensational. Look, she telling me she's stressed, I said, say me up. When this plane be landing, rapping for the radio, I'm changing up my bandwidth. Ain't no addict, I got bad habits. My comeback was sensational. Look, she telling me she's stressed, I said, say me up.
So obviously, if you notice with Acustica Audio plugins, sometimes it actually takes few seconds to kick in. So that first few seconds that I turn it on, you notice it's still sounding a bit flat, like there's nothing happening. Then maybe about 5 to 10 seconds in, then it kicks in. So when you try to listen to this, pay attention to that. You know, try to pick from the time it kicked in how it sounded like. But I actually feel like just this one plugin did a great job, even though you could still say it didn't quite, you know, do exactly 100%. But like I said before, no plugin would do 100%. But for the fact that with one plugin, you know, I can actually replace 4 expensive plugins, you know, that's actually great stuff. Bearing in mind also that this is sort of limited moves that you can do with it, whereas with this I had the luxury of doing everything. Obviously Pro Q3, you can do a lot. Our compressor is an OG already. SSL EQ is obviously a sound everybody's used to. Then with MV2 now giving me that low end push, you know, the low level being pushed up to sort of, you know, bring this closer, making the vocal sound more dense and more weighty compared to, you know, one plugin that is emulation of an, you know, old console, but still giving me a crisp sound. What I like about this EQ is actually the top end. It's really shown that even with the boost, you notice how silky it sounded like. So go ahead and try this plugin and let me know what you think about it. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you've not done so yet, check out my membership where I actually have a couple of mixes where I go through a full mix breakdowns and stuff, and you have access to obviously connect with me. If you want me to mix your song, I have my verified page on EngineEars.com/Zany Pro. Check me out there. All this month you will get 40% off if this is your first booking with me. Until then, thanks for watching. Happy mixing.